We met about 5 years ago working on a cruise ship. Technically moved in together when we lived on the ship.
It's about 2 years before we moved in together.
Yeah, we gave it time. We didn't do the whole U-Haul thing. Went after the first date. We gave it time to decide.
It was actually my idea for us to move in together.
You did. I was actually shocked because I'm more of the mushy one who's like, oh my God, I just want to breathe your air. But she was the one who was like, I think we should move together. And I was excited.
I was in Jersey, she was living in Brooklyn, so the commute was horrible. So.
We met about 5 years ago working on a cruise ship. I was a dancer on the ship and he was a solo performer, musician. Technically moved in together when we lived on the ship.
Certain people get a little bit more luxury, like I had my own cabin, which is slightly bigger than what she was crammed into with a roommate.
I didn't move out, but I slept in his cabin every night. So then once we left our contract, he moved to California and I had been living there prior, so we moved out there for a little bit.
It took about 3 years to move in together. We were long distance for those 3 years and we got engaged after 2 years, and then we finally decided it's time. We were living in the same state, let's move in together.
Yeah, it was definitely her. I was in my last year of medical school. Thought I would try to save some money and live with my parents while there and still kind of do some long distance a little bit, but nope. She got the best of me, so moved in.
I wanted to move to New York and my aunt had this crazy story. She was like, I'm leaving, I need someone to come move into my apartment. We were living in Tennessee at the time, and so I called Riley and I was like, hey, do you want to move to New York? And he was like, sure. And I'm like, okay, but the catch is you have to live with me. So we got to move to New York and we lived together.
It was, well, let's see, 4 months, June to October, something like that. 4 months.
Yeah, we met in June and by October we were
married. And moved in, so
yeah.
It all moved quick.
We went to school in Georgia, so I actually stayed in her dorm for a couple of months because I had nowhere to go.
We started dating right after he graduated college, and I'm 2 years behind him. And then we moved in once I graduated, so it was a pretty seamless, 2 years exactly.
How long before we moved in together? It was 15 months?
Officially, but he'd been spending a lot of time at my place.
Yeah, unofficially probably way before that.
I think I suggested it just because his lease was up, and so then rather than him finding another place, I thought it'd be easier just to move in together and then we can search for a better option for the two of us.
Always making it so practical.
Before we moved in together, we were in high school together in a really small town called Guayama, Puerto Rico.
Been like 8 years, and then we moved in together after we got married a year ago.
I mean, yeah, the plan was always to get married and move in together. I wanted to push it before we got married.
But I wanted to finish my studies, so yeah.
So I was living in Albany. I was working in the state capitol. It was cold. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was tired. So I started actively applying to jobs down here, and I wound up getting a job with a New York City agency, and that required a New York City residency within 90 days. So it was a no-brainer for us to move in together.
I'll say about 1 year we were dating, and then we locked up in a program to where we live now. Then from there, we've been together, living together for 3 years ever since. It wasn't like it was any pressure or anything, but I just felt like she was ready to take it to the next level. And definitely moving in was definitely going to the next level. So